Okay, and just don't touch anything except the moving camera. Yeah, I'm an amateur. So you can tell I'm an amateur. I haven't.
Only a pilot.
I haven't done this. So let me see.
That's it.
Start recording here too. Now what I'm going to do, I know this is going to be dramatic. They have a clipboard that goes like that. I need to make a sound to synchronize this to our talking. So can you bring the camera? Is it showing me here?
No, you're not important yet.
Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're synced. Okay. Today I'm here with Elva Street, Adrian Street, and John Street, and we're going to talk about a thylacine sighting that occurred in mainland Australia and Western Australia. What year would that have been, Elva?
1975.
1975. And why don't you just explain what you were doing that day and what you saw?
We were travelling down to Perth from Derby in the north, and there had been a cyclone a few days before, and we couldn't go down the main highway, so we came down the inland highway.
Okay, let's just stop 1 second. You're gonna, if you don't mind, you're gonna have to talk. Everybody's gonna have to talk loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Put your mouth closer.
So let's start again, Eugene. If you pan back to me.
Take two.
Now is it still showing recording there? It's still got the
Yeah, the red lights on.
red
Yeah.
lights on. Okay. Today I'm here with Elva Street, Adrian Street, and John Street, and we're going to hear about a very interesting sighting that occurred. What year did that occur?
It was December 1975.
1975, and this is what we believe to be a thylacine sighting in Western Australia. Now, Elva, can you tell us what you saw that day?
We were travelling down from the north, and we'd left Port Hedland and spent 2 nights on the road, and it was probably around about midday, and we were heading south. Of course, the road was wet, very wet, and we were travelling fairly slowly. We saw this animal on the driver's side of the road trotting along, heading the same way we were. And
How fast was the car going at that time?
oh, not very fast. The road was very wet, and we had a trailer behind. We were only travelling in a little Mazda 808, and we probably might have been doing 60 k's an hour.
Uh-huh.
And the animal, I can remember it sort of a bit in front of us, trotting along the way we were going, and then that's my memory of it. But John and 2 of our sons can remember seeing it cross across the road in front of us and go into very low scrub on the left hand side of the road, and it turned and looked at us, and it was a biggish animal, like a big dog with a long body, a long pointy tail that sort of held sort of straight out from its back. Fairly thick sort of a head, but a pointed jaw, not like a bulldog or anything like that. And it had stripes across its back. It was quite thin, but it was like an animal we'd never seen before. Longish body, biggish dog.
Okay, let's backtrack a second. Now, where in Australia was this? Can you give us the name of the location a little bit?
It was in the Gascoyne area. I'd say it was probably about 200 to 250 k's north of Meekatharra on the, I think it's called the Great Northern Highway.
On the Great Northern
Yeah.
Highway. And is there a road stop there, Kumarina or something?
Kumarina.
Kumarina?
Yes, I'm not even sure. I can't remember Kumarina. I don't even know if it was there in those days.
Uh-huh.
But it possibly was. But
Would it have been north or south of
I'd say it
Kumarina?
was south of Kumarina.
South of Kumarina, where Kumarina is now.
Yes.
And approximately how far south?
Well, it would be a bit of a guess, but 50 k's, perhaps it might be a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
50 to 100 k's.
Okay. And this was, you say, around noontime or midday?
Yes, I'd say it was about that, just by working out where we camped for the night and how far we'd travelled. I'd say it was between midday and 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
It was a sunny day, but as I said, there was a lot of water around.
It had been a heavy rain?
A cyclone,
A cyclone?
area. Yes, the
Okay.
cyclone had moved down inland and there was a lot of water and it was an unsealed road.
Okay. And how long do you recall having seen this animal? Was it a few seconds? Was it a minute? Or was it longer? Or what's your recollection?
Yes. I'd say it was probably only about half a minute to a minute at the longest.
Mhm.
I probably only saw it for about less than half a minute, but the others probably saw it for longer.
Okay. Now, Adrian, you were there at the time. How old were you when this happened?
I was 14, nearly 15. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you, excuse me, who was in the front seat of the car at the time?
John and I were in the front seat.
John and you?
Brad, our youngest son, was sitting on the driver's side right behind John against the window.
Yes.
I think Adrian was in the centre.
I was in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, and Warren was on the left-hand side. And that's why I think Warren can distinctly remember seeing it crossed over to the other side and looking at us through the...
So there were actually five of you,
Yes.
5 of you that saw
Yeah,
this animal.
5 of us saw it.
Okay. Now, Adrian, go ahead and tell us what you recall.
Well, I recall someone either saying, "Did you see that?" or "Look at that." And I looked straight out the front window and saw this thing with vertical stripes on its back with a long tail, and just run across the road into the scrub about 15 metres and just turn and look at us. So I think maybe we might have been going a bit slower
We could have been.
than 60.
Yeah, it could have been.
Because the road was very slippery and because it was just a gravel road. And I probably reckon I saw it for around about 30 seconds, probably, by the time it went across the road into the bush and then turned around. But we didn't really, I don't recall any of us talking about it afterwards either. We just all saw it and said, wonder what that was, and that was about it, yeah.
And John, does this pretty much match up with your recollection also?
That's what I saw.
It matches up with your
That would
recollection?
be exactly the same. If I was to testify or whatever, I'd say exactly the same.
Okay. Now, I think, Elva, you said that your family are kind of like bushies. You're not like city folk so much?
No. We've been country people all our life, yes. And we've spent a lot of time in the bush.
You go mineral collecting and things of that sort?
During the last 25 years, we've spent probably 3 months or more in quite remote places in the bush all over Australia.
So you've seen dingoes and you've
Yes.
seen the other marsupials?
Many dingoes and other.
And you certainly know what the farm dogs look like, or even
Yes.
is there any chance this could have been like a wild greyhound or some skinny dog?
No, not at all. You know, the stripes was so definite.
Uh-huh. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning that you're absolutely sure this was a thylacine or a Tasmanian tiger, and 1 meaning that it could have been anything, a dog, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Definitely A 10, definitely a 10. There's no doubt in my mind at all.
And Adrian, where do you? This is a long time ago now.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say maybe a 10, but it would be a 9.
9. And
Yeah.
John, what do you reckon?
I agree with my wife as usual, 10.
And our son Warren said, he's,
Your other son?
yes,
Yes.
he was 13 at the time. He said, you know, I've no doubt at all that the thylacine is what we saw.
It's quite remarkable. Now, if it had been a dingo or a wild dog or something, I guess it wouldn't have made this much of an impression upon you, would it? To remember after all these years?
Oh no, we've seen many dingoes.
Couldn't have
Many
been a
dingoes.
skinny dingo.
No, it was bigger than a dingo for a start.
It was bigger than a dingo,
It was
so it was
big.
quite large.
Yep, it was
Okay.
sort of about the size. Well, Adrian had a boxer dog before they came over here, and,
Uh-huh.
and we think it was around about that size.
An adult boxer
But,
dog,
yeah, but the body seemed to be longer
even longer.
than a boxer, I'd say.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, the legs were a bit shorter.
The legs were shorter. All right, that's interesting to know. And you say the tail, Adrian, do you agree with the tail as your mom described it? It's sort of a stiff, long tail?
Yeah, and what I remember is it was turned up at the back. It wasn't a brushy, hairy tail. It was quite a slender tail that it carried straight out and curved up at the back.
Uh-huh. And there was no tuft at the back?
No.
Okay. Let's just backtrack a second here. I'm going to ask you again about the size of the animal. So it was about, you were saying it's about the size of an adult boxer, is that correct?
Well, the size of our adult boxer,
Okay.
which was not a big dog. as
An average
boxers go, but
an
an average
Boxer dog, yeah.
Yeah.
And or even it was a little bit larger than that, you were saying, Elva?
Well, from what I can remember, its body was longer than what Sally's body was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The boxer,
Yeah,
your
Adrian's
pet
boxer.
boxer, yeah.
Mhm.
And the tail, was it short hair or was it any long hair on the tail that you recall?
I don't recall any long hair on it at all. It's just it's quite a
Smooth?
slim,
Yeah.
the hair lying flat, smooth tail. Yeah.
Okay. And what about the rest of the hair on the animal? Short or medium or long?
Oh, that's a bit hard to say. Not long, but perhaps medium. Yeah.
Similar to a boxer or longer than a boxer's hair? Or,
Oh, I'd say a bit longer than a boxer from.
but not like a hairy dog in your
No, no.
opinion?
Not
No.
like a collie. I would have said fairly similar to a boxer, really. Like, maybe a fraction longer, but nothing like it wouldn't bounce when it ran, like a collie or
Okay.
something like that.
Now some people have seen foxes with mange, and they think that they may have seen a thylacine because a fox that has no hair on it and no hair on his tail could possibly
Too small.
too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too low
And
to
the,
the
and the
ground.
stripes were so definite.
Definite stripes.
And a
Def-
fox got a different head, much
We've
finer.
shot
Finer,
plenty.
yeah. Not at all.
What did you say, John?
We've shot plenty of foxes.
You've shot plenty
So
of
we
foxes.
know
You know what a fox looks like. Even a fox with mange wouldn't be the right
Oh,
size.
well, I don't know. Oh,
No,
it wouldn't be
too
the right
small.
size, but I say, well, I've never seen a fox with mange
Or stripes.
or a pointy tail.
Okay. Well, I've tried my best not to put words in your mouth. I think I did it once or twice, but anyway, the main thing that I wanted to see was on the scale of 1 to 10 how certain you are.
Yes.
And I think that the stripes is a very strong character that you adds a lot of weight to it. Now, have you heard of other sightings in Western Australia?
Not definite.
Not definite.
Not
Okay.
definitely nothing.
This is the
definite.
only one. This is to your knowledge. This is the only. And this is the only one that you've seen, this one occasion?
Yes, this is definitely the only one we've seen. You know, sometimes you hear people talking and they say, oh, we've seen these big dogs out in the bush and that sort of thing, but
Yes.
I don't know that anybody has ever told us that they've seen a thylacine.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you a picture on the computer here. What do I need to do to bring this up again?
I think it's just that.
Okay. And let's turn this around for the camera to see. I'll bring it a little bit closer. All right, that is a thylacine. I believe that was in